that wonderful Sunday feeling, because you're now going to spend a good 4 to 5 minutes with me with 3 questions that have been given to me that I shall now answer. Ain't that a tongue twister and a half? And as you can guess, it's a Gerann, it's a Gerann, it's a Gerann special. He's probably looking thinking, dude, why? First question. What is your favorite top 3 Hell in a Cell matches of all time? It's a good question. One of my favorites is Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker from No Mercy 2002, mainly because that match kind of redefined what Hell in a Cell should be, because I think that was actually one of the few times that people actually didn't go out of the cell, they just kept all the action within Hell in a Cell. One that's a personal favourite with me is the 6-way Hell in a Cell match from Armageddon 2000 for the then World Wrestling Federation Championship, with Kurt Angle defending against Rikishi, Triple H, The Undertaker, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Safe to say, Kurt Angle retained, but via the skin of his own teeth. Damn good match though. Although the way that Rikishi was thrown off the cell by the American Badass Undertaker, that was nasty. And the third one, I'd say Shawn Michaels versus Triple H from Bad Blood 2004, because what you gotta remember is the story between those two. This had gone really nasty and personal. I mean, the feud between them was already personal from the summer of 2002, but it was gone so personal, it was venomous to where they were costing each other shots at the World Heavyweight title, and Bischoff says, you know what, to hell with this, you two are going to settle this in Hell in a Cell, and we're going to put an end to it. And it was one of the best endings to one of the greatest rivalries in WWE history, and that's saying a lot. Also, should be noted, that was Shawn Michaels' first Hell in a Cell match since 1997, when he battled The Undertaker for the right to face Bret Hart at the 1997 Survivor Series for the then World Wrestling Federation Championship. And we all know how those two matches went down. Oof. Question 2. Have you ever seen the TV series Viper? If so, and if you only saw bits of it, what did you think of it? I only ever seen small clips of the car transforming, and that's all I've ever really seen of it, and it looks impressive. I will grant it that. I preferred it when it did the more symbiotic wave mode of transforming rather than the mechanical. This seems familiar. If I ever get the chance to get around to watching this, I'll give it a look. Because, you know, this was inspired by Knight Rider back in the day, so it looked okay from what I saw of it, but again, I can't really say anything to merit an opinion because I don't have enough for said opinion, so sorry I can't help you in that department, dude. Number 3. If you have to choose one Marvel and one DC superhero to be your favourite, who would it be? This is a really, really tough call. If this question had been asked for me with regards to Marvel some 10 years ago, I would have said Spidey or the Hulk. I say Spidey because I don't know anybody that doesn't like Spider-Man. If they do happen to dislike him, I respect, you know, it's not really a choice if you like or dislike somebody, you choose to support them, but it's just like a natural reaction or an instinct, you know, and all that jazz. You know, if you don't like Spidey, okay, your thing, I guess. And I had a soft spot for the Hulk because I grew up in the 80s watching reruns of the Bill Bixby Incredible Hulk TV series, and that series is still awesome to this day. But now, I'd say Iron Man. Mainly because Robert Downey Jr. knows how to sell that character like a boss. you get these scenarios sometimes where the line between character and actor are so blurred they may as well be the same person. And Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. RDJ is Iron Man. You know, the way that Robert Downey Jr. carries himself on screen as the titular character, you know, it's like how when David Hasselhoff became Michael Knight, he sold that character so authentically and so naturally. It's like, it's a guy that looks like David Hasselhoff, but it's Michael Knight. And when you look at RDJ as Iron Man, he is so comfortable in his own skin playing that character that, you know, whenever he goes to these conventions, or if he happens to go to these special events where, you know, loads of kids are, you know, there for Iron Man. And there was one time he comes out on stage, where he's behind the stage and said, "Did I hear my name mentioned?" And everybody loses their minds. So long-winded, long story cut short, Iron Man's my favorite Marvel character, mainly because although Tony Stark is an ass especially in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, there is something quite charming and appealable about him. He's got the wit, he's got the sarcasm, he's just got this X factor to him, this panache, pizzazz, you know, label it whatever you want. Tony Stark has it, you know. He's that guy that you want to have a coffee with. From a guy's perspective, you know, he's the guy you want to go bowling with. To the girls, ladies, I'll let you figure that one out for yourselves, because, hey, Tony Stark's a good-looking guy, and yeah, let you work that one out for yourselves. Now, with DC, it's kind of a mixed bag, because my two favorite DC characters are either Batman or Superman, but over the years, it depends on who is actually playing the character. Now, if this was the late 80s and the early 90s, I would have said my favorite DC character was Batman because of the way Michael Keaton and Kevin Conroy sold their roles with the interpretations of that character. I mean, Michael Keaton, to me, is the definitive Batman. Simply because you look at him as Bruce Wayne, you'd say this is the last guy that you'd suspect to be Batman. I mean, in terms of the physical aspect, Michael Keaton is not like Christian Bale or Ben Affleck. He's not jacked, he's not standing uber so tall, but he has the mannerisms, he has the character. And you look at the way he sells the persona of Bruce Wayne as this man who's very withdrawn, keeps very much to himself, whereas with Christian Bale, it's like, it's so obvious, you know. Bale as Bruce Wayne, it's like he's just screaming, "I'm Batman!" even when he doesn't have the cape and cowl. Now, Christian Bale's a fine actor. I know X-24 Rider has his reservations about him, you know, that's his thing. I'm not going to knock a guy for choice and taste, because we're all different, we're all individual. But I think as Bruce Wayne, he did alright. Batman, please, who are we kidding? You know, Val Kilmer did a way better job with Batman than Christian Bale. But that's my subjective point of view. Yours may vary, and I respect your opinion. But when it comes to Superman, the only one who's ever really done it so much justice, no pun intended, where, again, the lines are so blurred between reality and fiction, you know, that actor is the character. Christopher Reeve, the Superman, the quintessential Superman, the definitive Superman. Now, Henry Cavill, I'm going to give the guy credit. He is really trying his darndest to put his own particular stamp on this character, because he doesn't want to do what other actors have done before him, and I admire that, commend that, and respect that, because he wants this to be his own thing. The only thing I'm going to say is, and, you know, Hank, this has to be said, don't be the Batman clone in the blue and red. Do what you were trying to do in Man of Steel, where, you know, you're trying to make this character the Superman that we're familiar with, but make it more relatable to modern audiences. Whereas in Batman v Superman, I felt like Zack Snyder took the flow and strategy and thinking that he had for Henry Cavill with Superman and just turned all his attention on, you know, really getting Ben Affleck set up as Batman. If we're talking old school, I would have said Superman was my favourite from DC, but at the moment Ben Affleck has got this thing down pad. And I'm going to take a couple of reasons why Ben Affleck has probably got it down more pad than... Now, no disrespect to George Clooney, he was just fed the material that he was given in that train wreck that was Batman and Robin. And I know there are some people that like it because it's so bad it's good. I respect your opinion, but Batman and Robin is so bad, it's just bad. The only thing that... To be fair to Clooney, he sold Bruce Wayne like a diamond. But as Batman, oh, please. The thing that I find that Ben Affleck does well as Bat, and by extension Bruce Wayne, is a couple of things is that you get the sense that this version of Wayne is a little bit more reserved, a little bit more no nonsense, and he doesn't really try to do much of this self-inward journey that we were made to go through the Dark Knight trilogy, you know. But at this point, Wayne is already Batman and has been for the better part of 2 decades. I like the fact it's almost like if Hellboy was Batman. It's just a case of, you know, for Batman it's just, you know, shift, punch in, go do the work, you know, get behind the cape, get out of Dodge. And what they did that I felt was better than what Christian Bale did with the gravelly voice, they put a voice changer in the cowl, and I'm like, that's genius. Mind you, they were probably borrowing a little bit with Arrow with the voice changer behind the back of his ear, but that's a discussion for another time. But it makes perfect sense, because the fact that, you know, it's one thing putting on a cape and cowl to disguise yourself physically, but you've still got the voice. Now the fact that his voice is changed electronically so that nobody would think twice that he's Bruce Wayne. It's like, I'm Batman. Bruce? Gone. So yeah, long-winded. I really should cut to the chase more often, but this is me you're talking about. I've been, you know, yammering on for about the better part of 10 to 11 years doing this shtick as an entertainer, so, you know, why quit the formula that works? For Marvel, Iron Man. For DC, current Batman in Batfleck. I bet Geran's just all looking thinking, it's like, why couldn't you just done the shorter route, man? But anyway, you know how this shtick works by now. For the next episode, leave a question in the comment section below. If you're watching this on YouTube, dynamicnight.com, Facebook, or if you happen to be looking on rivercitygamers.com, or even tweet a question to my Twitter in the outro. But until again, folks, ask again and have yourself a great Sunday evening.